When you visit the Louvre, not only will you discover what is now one of the world's largest universal museums, but also what was once the fortified castle that protected Paris, the French royal palace, and artist residence, the first public museum during the French Revolution, and a theater of Napoleonic ambition. I visited the Louvre Museum in the summer of 2022. I was immensely amazed by the artworks that I saw, including paintings and sculptures. I came home, did some research, and learned more about them. In the next few episodes, we're going to look at some of the extraordinary artworks in the Louvre, their artistic styles, techniques, inspirations, historic significance, and what makes them the masterpieces of the world for centuries. The Louvre collection has an impressive 5,500 paintings. Some of the stunning paintings on display are the creations of masters such as Michelangelo, Raphael, and Leonardo da Vinci. Most of the paintings displayed in the Louvre were created between the 13th and the 19th centuries. The world's most iconic painting, Mona Lisa, is displayed in the Louvre's largest room, Salle des Têtes. Mona Lisa's famously enigmatic smile has fascinated the world for centuries. Among her first admirers was King Francois I, who invited Leonardo da Vinci to France and bought the painting from him in 1518. This is how the world's most famous painting entered the French royal collections that have been shown at the Louvre since the French Revolution. Since 2005, the Mona Lisa has been exhibited in a protective glass case in solitary splendor in the center of the room. This special treatment stems partly from the need to ensure the safety of such a famous work, but is also due to conservation requirements. The work was not painted on canvas, but on a panel of poplar wood, which has warped over the years, causing a crack to appear. To prevent further damage, the Mona Lisa has to be kept in a temperature and humidity-controlled glass case. This is the room of Mona Lisa. There are at least 500 people in this room. The sitter for this portrait was Lisa Gherardini, who lived in Florence in the early 16th century. She was the wife of Francisco del Giocondo, a wealthy silk merchant. Her elegant, elaborate outfit indicates her social status. Her dress is covered by a large veil of transparent silk. She is sitting in a loggia, a roofed open gallery, in front of a mountainous landscape. Leonardo da Vinci used a painting technique called the sfumato. He applied multiple layers of pigments bound in oil to create a subtle transition from shadow to light, bring his model's gentle smile to life. A path on the left draws our gaze to mountains bordered by lakes. This wild, majestic landscape suggests the slow formation of the earth, the battle of the elements, and the erosion caused by time. Leonardo mastered so-called atmospheric perspective, using different shades of blue to blur the outlines and give the scene a striking depth. Leonardo aimed to bring his portrait to life by depicting Lisa as if she were naturally turning to welcome us. Her upper body is in three-quarter view, but her gently smiling face is frontal. Leonardo da Vinci never finished the Mona Lisa. The lower part of the landscape is evidently incomplete. The forms are barely sketched. Leonardo began this partially experimental painting in about 1503 and never finished it. He took it with him everywhere he went. until his final trip to France in 1516 at the invitation of King Francois I. The king bought the painting, which thus entered the French royal collections that had been shown at the Louvre since the French Revolution. The Intervention of the Sabine Woman was painted by the preeminent French neoclassical painter Jacques-Louis David in 1799. It shows the legendary episode following the abduction of the Sabine woman by the Roman soldiers in early Roman history. In 8th century BCE, shortly after Rome was founded, the first king Romulus realized there was a shortage of women population in the city. He led his army to the neighboring region to abduct women, rape them, and make them wives of the Roman men. The people living in the neighboring region was known as the Sabines. This incident, known as the abduction of the Sabine woman or the rape of the Sabine woman, was frequently depicted in the art in the Western history. After Romulus succeeded in his plan by capturing many Sabine women and making them wives of his soldiers, the Sabines waged a war against the Romans. In one battle, a Sabine woman named Hasilia rushed to stand between the two armies, placing her babies on the ground. She was the daughter of the Sabine leader Titus Tatius, abducted by Romulus himself and became his wife. Her Roman husband Romulus was standing on the right, preparing to strike his spear towards his Sabine father, who was standing on the left, holding a sword and a shield. The battle stopped and the war came to the end due to Hasilia's intervention. The Romans and Sabines eventually agreed to unite as one nation, which would be jointly ruled by Romulus and Titus Tatius. David's artistic depiction of the powerful image of Hasilia and a dramatic historical event made this painting one of the most famous artworks in the Louvre. It was created during the French Revolution. It is said to have been painted to honor David's wife, with the theme being love prevailing over conflict. The painting was also seen as a plea for the people to reunite after the bloodshed of the Revolution. The soul breaking the bonds that attach it to the earth is hanging prominently on the red wall of the denim wing of the Louvre. It was painted by the French Romantic painter Pierre-Paul Prudhon between 1821 and 1823. This painting is one of the last and the largest of the painter whose end of life was marked by a series of misfortunes, especially the suicide of his longtime collaborator and companion Constance Meyer, who slit her throat with the painter's razor after an argument. Consumed by grief, Prudhon created this masterpiece 2 years before his own death. Considered as one of the major milestones in Prudhon's career, it was classified as a national treasure in May 2018. In this painting, the female nude symbolizes death as the victory of the soul, leaving the earth for heaven. A dark and a stormy sea breaks against the rock. A lovely angelic figure illuminated as she ascends upward from these dark shores, stretching her arms up to her celestial home. She frees herself from its earthly envelope, battered by the stormy waves, where the serpent of envy crawls. The soul rises longingly skyward, a glimmer of hope in her eyes tinged with the bitter memories of its suffering, and finally joins the light of immortality.